updates about the website and everything, or the channel rather. So the updates for the channel are that I'm going to keep making videos. If you notice, I've been making more videos based on actually comments that I get. I find that those videos a lot of times do well. Now I do make some other videos that I make or I kind of think might be a hit. Um, Mainly because the name of the game is for YouTube is to get your stuff seen, your lesson seen. If people aren't watching, then there's not much point. As I said at the end of the last live stream, is without you, the viewers and the students rather, I would have stopped doing this a long time ago. So it's very important that I get more students involved, and I think really a strategy behind that is better engaging with the community, which I think I have been doing, but I want to do that even more into the new year, into 2017. Engage more with the community. So probably what you're going to expect in the New Year's is more videos geared towards your input on things. We've had a few of those, but and I may do like almost like a community recital kind of thing. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. I want to know how many people are listening that would actually be interested in doing like an online recital. Now, don't get me wrong, you wouldn't have to show, if you don't want to show your face or anything, you just want to show a clip of you playing, that would be perfectly fine. I just kind of want to get like something together that would showcase the community rather than just myself. I like putting things on the channel, but I think if I could put something that was from the community on the channel every once in a while, I think that would be really awesome, because then we can kind of see, what how we're doing. Kind of see like what somebody's able to do if they learn piano from the YouTube videos or from my website, or really just anywhere, just to see what kind of progress and what people are, what people are really made of. But don't get me wrong, that would be completely optional, and really only people were interested in that sort of thing. So again, if you're interested, leave it in the comments. If not, totally cool with me. Also in the new year, you can expect more lessons made around topics that I find in the comments, which I mentioned before. So some things that were released recently were like the two-handed piano playing one. I may even do an update to that lesson, since I feel like that lesson did pretty well, and I also have more to say about two-handed piano playing, but we may save that for another day. And I don't know, let me just see. Hold on a second, everybody. I'm still around. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. So, some other updates are that I plan on doing collaborations still this year. I know this is something that I said I would do a while ago. Just keep in mind that I've had a lot of things personally going on with me, as well as a lot of work I've been doing on the website and helping people learn piano music. People come. The website comes first, really, because that's really, people are paying money for that. So I have to put the money and time into that. The YouTube channel, don't get me wrong, does take up a good amount of my time. I do like to put more and more effort into the YouTube channel. But, I'm working very hard on the website. So that's why some of the things I mentioned, like the podcast and things like that, haven't happened yet. Is really, and also another reason, one reason obviously is I'm working on other things. Another reason is that I like to kind of think about the ideas through for a while, because I found that if I do that, I kind of think about what pitfalls there may be, and I feel like I can make the end result a lot better. So I still do have those things planned. If Rich is wondering, Rich I don't think is actually here tonight, but that's okay. So if you are just kind of like wondering what's happening with the channel, that's really what's happening. More of what I've been doing for the second half of 2016. But like I said, you can look forward to collaborations. Now, I'm still making up a list of people I would like to collaborate with. I have a pretty good idea. I still need to do more work on contacting them and building, a professional relationship with them, before I can expect them to do something like that. But there's something really cool. So you may see some of your favorite piano YouTubers on my channel. Maybe. We'll see how this thing goes. So I do plan on branching out quite a bit. I think I'm going to stick to easy piano for the channel. I mean, duh, right? That's why most of us are here. Now, the things like songwriting and music theory, I may put up once in a while, because I know some people who are subscribed are subscribed for that. They want the music theory. And then some of us may not be interested. I am going to make a lesson, by the way, that unfortunately the last time I was going to make it, the lesson was canceled. But I'm going to make a lesson on why music theory is important to you as a piano student. And then, so, when you see those videos come out, don't just ignore them. Take a look. It may not be something you're super interested in, but I know that by knowing music theory, it really helps you in what you're able to play. Okay, let's see here. All right, any questions so far? If not, totally cool with me. So we're gonna get. Let me think of a intro for us here. Oops. There we go. Hello students, Tim here from Lessons on the Web again, and today we're talking about sharps and flats, and mainly some of the rules behind sharps, flats, and naturals too, by the way, that you need to know about. So a lot of people, if you don't know what a sharp is, we will go over it together. Let me move that out of our way. Alright, let me write in some notes for us, just as an example. Okay, so what four notes do we have here? Well, if you just read them plainly without the sharping there, you'd have G, D, G, E. However, when you have that sharp, many people call it a hashtag nowadays, you actually will not just play the note that's written. I mean, you need to kind of think about where that is, but you play the note up and directly to the right of that note. So you have G sharp, D, G sharp, E. Now you may be thinking, why did I say G sharp twice? Why did I say G sharp for this one, right? There's no sharp written there. Then why did I say G sharp? Well, I said G sharp because if you don't know that within a measure, I've never mentioned this on the channel, by the way, so if you know this, good on you. But if you don't know, I kind of crossed my mind the other day that I had never mentioned this on the channel. On the website I have. But anyway, so when you have a sharp earlier in the measure, so remember measure is like that box that we are currently in right now. So when you have a sharp earlier in the measure, and you have a note of the same letter later on in the measure, meaning if this is a G and this one's a G, the second one, or any other G for matter, if I had like 3 other G's, all of those to the right of that note, to the right of that G sharp, are all sharp. So this one is automatically G sharp instead of G. There we go. Let's draw out another example just to kind of show you some other instances that you may want to look out for. Okay, now what are the notes? Well, the notes, right, are D, D sharp, G, D sharp again. Because remember, if we have a sharp here, we're going to have a sharp there as well because it carries over. Now, the one thing to know is as soon as you cross into a new measure, that rule is negated. So if you have, let's say, a D right here, that D is automatic. That's not a D, that's an E. That D is automatically a D sharp. Or not a D sharp. I mean, that D sharp is automatically canceled out. That's what I meant to say. So you may or may not be aware of that. And then just keep in mind that this D right here is still a regular D, called a D natural. And that's because the sharp hasn't happened yet. So that rule only applies to notes that are to the right of that sharp note and that do not cross, do not cross that, that threshold between the measures. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do the flat now. Okay, so what do we have now? Well, we take a look here. We have the notes G, D, and then what's the next one? This one's G flat. And then what about this one? Is that G natural? Or regular G, rather? No, it's G flat, right? Since these are, this note happens right after this one. So, and they're both within the same measure. So it's G flat again. However, this one is just regular G. It is not G flat. And why is that? Because we have crossed over that measure line. So if you're not aware of that, you may, if you weren't aware of that, you may be playing pieces and wondering why they don't sound right, and that's why. And by the way, the flat, I should have mentioned, is you play the note. Well, you don't play the note. You think about where the note is. So if it's G, flat is the opposite of sharp. So you go 1 into the left, over there. Avi is here once again. Hello, Avi. Welcome back again. So anyway, G flat is 1 down and to the left. Okay, now we have this thing called a natural. So here's, and a natural, by the way, cancels out a sharp or a flat. Okay, so here we have G, G, and then F sharp, F sharp. But say I'm the composer of this song, and I wanted to make this last F not an F sharp, right? Because we're in a quandary now, because there's no measure line between those two notes, so that doesn't cancel it out. So we have to use a symbol to cancel it out. You use what's called a natural. A natural looks like an L and then an upside down L fused into one, like that. And now it's F sharp and then F natural is the last one. So that makes it regular F again. And that works the same thing with flats. So a natural cancels out a sharp or a flat when you're within the same measure and you want the next note or one of the other notes to no longer be sharp or flat. What's another good use for naturals? Well, let me tell you. Another good use for naturals is when you have a key signature. Okay, and say now in this key signature, if you don't know about key signatures, there are sharps and flats in the beginning of the song that tell you basically what notes will be consistently sharp or flat throughout that entire song. So if you take a look here, you look at the C here, or the two notes here rather are sharped, are F and C. So every F and every C in the whole song are sharped. However, and automatically, by the way, whether they have a sharp next to them or not. By the way, what if I wanted to make one of those notes not sharp? So say I want the C to be sharped within the key signature, which is in the key signature, but the F, I want that to be F natural. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a see if it third time's a charm. Man, let's see. Wow, it's not liking me at all, but that's okay. I have no idea. But anyway, you draw a natural there. I don't know. Let me try this. Sorry about this, everybody. It's giving me a problem. There we go. Okay, so as you can see now, you have C sharp. You have F natural, so that negates whatever you have in the key signature. So that's another use for a natural, is to cancel out something that you had in the key signature. So do you have any questions so far about sharps or flats? I'd really like to know them in the comments. You know, it will really help me even make better lessons in the future, knowing what your questions are, and I'll be able to help you understand things a whole lot better. So always leave your questions and comments in the comments section. Okay, so that wraps it up. So remember that a natural is used to cancel out a sharp or a flat. A sharp will take the note, so say you have F and you have F sharp. It'll take that note and raise it a half step, meaning that you go one and to the right. A flat does the opposite, where you go one and to the left. Now, remember that within the same measure, if you have a note early on that's sharped, so say you have A sharp, and it's not liking me since I have too many beats in this measure, but say you have A sharp and then you have A, well, that automatically makes the next A or any other A within that same measure a sharp automatically. Now, once you cross into the next measure, that cancels out and you don't have to worry. So that pretty much sums up our short mini lesson on the rules of sharps, flats, and naturals. So, hey, how's everybody doing? How's Avi doing tonight? How's Ray? And by the way, I want to mention that this. Whoa, what happened there? Strange. But anyway, I want to mention that this live stream and all the other live streams, by the way, are help brought to you by the supporters over on Patreon. Because without you, you know, this channel would not cease to exist. But it really helps. Your contributions really help us continue to grow. And then if you're really interested in learning a lot more about piano music, you can head over when the lesson is done to piano lessons on the web, or actually make sure you put the www.pianolessonsontheweb.com. Actually, if you don't do the www, that's fine. It should work out fine, but never mind. So anyway, if you look in the description, there will be a link to my website, and just, in your free time, check out to see what courses I have over there, and it will really take you far beyond what the YouTube channel takes you. It has the same instructional videos you like, along with printable sheet music examples, real songs to play, and assignments and activities that can really enhance your learning. There's also an exclusive live stream now added for just the Academy students and the Patreon contributors. So, make sure to check that out. And of course, the recording will be provided to you if you can't make that. So just to kind of, throw that out there. If you're interested. If not, more great free lessons will be on the way covering, very, pretty basic topics, introducing you to things and building on that a little bit. So, the channel's really geared for what I forgot to mention in the beginning of the live stream. The channel's more geared towards the beginners. It's more geared towards giving beginners an opportunity to learn piano music, even if they don't have, any money. And the point of the website is to build on that and learn more for those who are interested. So welcome out, everybody. It looks like we have a new person here. Haley is here. So she says, thanks for the videos. You are very welcome. Avi says, how to name our songs. Okay, what do you mean by that, Avi? Do you mean that like how to title your songs? Or how to... I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, but if it's like how to give a title to a song, if that's what you're asking, you give a title to a song. I like to give titles to my songs when they're finished, when I'm done writing them. And that's because I want to think first about the mood of the song. It depends, actually. Sometimes I think about what I want the mood of the song to be, and then I write the song. That's probably the better way to do it if you're trying to get a certain sound out of it. But sometimes I like to just kind of freeform it and then, kind of figure out the overall feelings for it. But anyway, the title of the song should reflect, the overall mood of the song. It should also reflect the little articulation. So if you had like a song called Rain, staccatos might be nice for that. Or, to reverse it the other way around, a song with staccatos, that's very repetitive, might be a good Rain title. Something a little slower and that's falling. You might want to think about maybe snow, right? Since snow cascades down very slowly. So yeah, that's how I would do it. If you're into songwriting, Avi, if you're into composition and you write a composition, the number one thing I can tell you is think about the mood that the song is conveying, and you want to build it around that. And you want to think about the little attributes of the song and what they remind you of. Since there's a little, like, let me think about it this way, or show you like an example. Let's say we want to make a song about riding a bike. Well, what are some of the things that you think about riding the bike? Well, maybe you're thinking, well, let's be more specific. Riding a bike on a sunny day, right? So you think about happiness. You might feel exhilarated. What are some of the motions involved in riding a bike? Well, the wheels are spinning around and around and around. So we kind of want a very repetitive kind of thing going around and around and around, but also very uplifting. So maybe in a major key. So... but still has a little bit of a kick to it. So, if I wrote that song first, if I did it the other way, I would think, what does that remind me of? Well, I can think, okay, the revolving of the wheels, it sounds uplifting, so I can put that to the bike. So that's what I would do. Think about the mood of the song. Think about think about basically how that song illustrates something you recognize, and then put the title to that and see if the title fits. Sometimes you'll put a title to something or a name to something and you'll love it at first, and then you'll think about it some more and you're like, well, maybe that doesn't sound so much like a bike, it sounds more like a carousel or something like that. So you always want to be thinking about, what's involved in the song, the different types of motion, and, the rhythms and things like that, and how it can fit into a song title. That's actually a lesson I could do all on its own, that I think would make for a great lesson. So any questions about that, Avi? Hopefully that was good explanation for you. But like I said, I can make a whole lesson based on that. That's like a creative kind of thinking lesson. Maybe like how to think creatively about music would be, I'm going to write this down. Let me write this down on my sheet of lessons. And that's another thing I'm doing, by the way. I'm writing down a lot of the ideas because so many of them come by, so many great ideas. And, I just forget them. But let me write this down. I'm still here, even though I am off screen. I'm opening up my document here. Let's see. Okay, where is it? We want this one. So how's everybody doing tonight? Okay. I mean, everybody knew, by the way, anybody who has not participated yet. And if you don't want to, that's totally fine. But like I said, I always love to converse with people in the stream. It kind of makes me feel like, we're in a community together, and we're all sharing ideas as like one big classroom. That's what I kind of like to do with the live stream, is make it like a class. Most live streams you watch somebody play video games, and this I like to make it, a discussion as much as I can. So let me write this idea down. How to think about music creatively. And I think that would make for a really good lesson, because I think a lot of people, simple as that explanation was, I think a lot of people would really like that. But we'll see. You never know until you release the video. Hey, Gail's just in here, or just came in. I am at a loss for words today. You ever have days where you just can't think of words really correctly? Well, I was sick yesterday, so that could have been at that, like, I'm still recovering maybe. But today I just cannot think of words. So if I mess your name up or say anything weird, that's what I'm doing. So Gail says, hi, just got in late. Well, you're always welcome, Gail, to come at any time, although you may miss us if you come in too late. And then Avi says, I'm fine, okay. And then the Great Emperor, I love your name, says, hey, I learned how to play the Tetris theme. I'm trying to remember what that sounds like. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's that Russian like dance theme. I don't want to play it on the stream though, because YouTube is very, very good and very, very quick at letting me know if I made a mistake. Yeah, the Great Emperor said it perfectly. Yeah, like you know what you're thinking, but can't say what you're thinking. Yeah, it's like my mind is running too fast, or maybe the part of my mind that makes the speech is running slow. I don't know, but like I said, I was sick yesterday, so I think that could impact it a little bit. But luckily, I'm here, ready to teach our lesson today, which I've already gone over. So we've already done that. So how's Gail doing? Let me know, Gail. What's everybody practicing these days? So I know the Gale Emperor, the Great Emperor, said that he learned to play the Tetris theme. That's really pretty neat. I always love learning video game themes. One of my favorite video game like music, one of my favorite video games of all time, and it's the music it has is Mega Man. Now I like the games of Mega Man, but I really like their music a lot better. They just have really awesome music to play. So I always like to, every once in a while, look up a Mega Man song and play it. Or obviously like the classics like Mario or something like that are always fun to play. Okay, Gail says, great. I reviewed some previous lessons this afternoon. Great. Gearing up to move towards the new Alfred's lesson. Really good. Which one are you on these days, Gail? I do kind of remember you telling me that you were doing Alfred's before. It may have been you or another student. But Alfred is one I highly recommend, mainly because you know, I work on that with a lot of my students. I know how to play the theme A and B to the Tetris theme. Oh, that's right. There is a theme A and theme B. Yeah, like I said, video game music is fun to play. The problem with video game music a lot of times is you have to, depending on what the song is, you really have to know how to play piano already to play them. A lot of them, I know a lot of people who don't know how to play piano, and they're just looking to learn one or two songs, and they try to learn Super Mario. And Super Mario, don't get me wrong, you could probably learn, even that would be a little tricky for, a very beginner. So you might be able to pull off the melody, but video games songs are notoriously difficult on the piano for the most part, and that's because a lot of them weren't written for the piano. So things like Mega Man, any of the NES stuff wasn't really written for the piano, so the way it's arranged can be a little odd. Now things like Final Fantasy, those are a little bit better for the piano because they're like orchestral pieces, and those do a little bit better condensing down into a piano score. Book one, and just finished Scarborough Fair on page 169. Yeah, I am familiar with Scarborough Fair. And then once you get to the end of book one, uh, the end of book one is fantastic because you have. Oh man, I totally messed it up. But anyway, White Christmas. Or what song is that? I have it right here. I have the Alfred's book right here. And let's see. Oh, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I always forget what that's called. That one's a great one at the end of the book. I really also like The Entertainer. Oh, you may have a different version than me because you may have the complete one because this one doesn't have 160 pages. So what I'm telling you might be slightly off. But some other great songs in the Alfred book are Amazing Grace, Over the Rainbow, really good one. So they did a really good job at like the end of this book taking adult beginners from knowing like pretty much nothing. As you can see here, the notes are real easy, pretty much to taking you through how to play your first like real songs. Let's see, The Entertainer, somebody says. Yes, they do have The Entertainer. Let's see. I don't know if I can fit it up on my music bench. Let's see. That's because I have the tablet up at the same time. But let's see. Oh, that's nice. That works great, actually. I have a slightly new setup with the tablet here, and I was a little bit worried it might not work out, but let's see. Whoops. There we go. Oh, thank you, the Great Emperor. Let's see, I missed some comments here. I have a self-teaching adult course. Okay, I think I'm familiar with that one. I think I even have that book somewhere. I'm using that book at the moment. Oh, great. That is from sorry if I mispronounced your name. Grame? Grame? I have a book of Casio. It came free with my piano. Yeah, I know a student who has that Casio book. It has Furlies in it and things like that. Thank you very much. Oh, Rich is here. Rich says nicely played. Thank you so much, Rich, for being so nice. I think it was actually one of the best playthroughs I had done of it in a while. Sir, I think you are awesome. Thank you, Avi. Beautiful, says the Great Emperor once again. Has that piece been simplified for the book? Yes. That's not the full version, actually. The full version is actually pretty tough and has a lot of... oh my god, any ragtime music is pretty tough. I mean, for a beginner... ragtime music is more for intermediate and advanced players, I find, in terms of like being able to move to different hand positions and things like that. So yeah, it is simplified, but it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, a lot of people wouldn't know that that's a simplified version. Now, some of the other ones you play earlier in this book, you know, they would know that right away, because I think they have Jingle Bells early in the book, and it's like, which is really simplified. Maple Leaf is harder than The Entertainer. Maple Leaf is very hard. Oh. I don't know, but something like that. But yeah, that one is very tough. I learned that one, part of that one, a while ago for a student of mine, and then he learned it, and but we didn't get past a certain amount. Can I play Symphony number 5? I can play Symphony number 5, sort of. Let me see. I guess today I'm taking somewhat requests. Let's see what we got. I'm not promising any magic, though, on these ones. Here it is. Okay. Nope, not it. Why is the well-tempered clavier in that? Oops. I misfiled. Oops. Ah, here we go. Symphony number 5. I'll try it. Let me try a little faster. 1, 2. Let me try a bit faster. Okay, I'm not going to play the rest of it. I'm a little rusty even on that first page. I think if I had to play it again, I could play it a little bit better, but... Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you, the Great Emperor. I tried my best. Yeah, an Entertainer does have a lot of syncopated rhythms as well. I'm not sure if I got to that comment. Just making sure I got through everybody's. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Avi. Thank you, everybody, by the way. Everybody's so nice to me. Okay, so Rich says, what did I miss? Since Rich was a little tardy today, which is fine. I'm just joking. So anyway, let's see. Well, you missed, I think it was stuff you already knew. Basically what I did was, for this lesson, as you can see in the title, I did like a channel and website update first. And basically what I said was that a lot of things I had planned for the end of this year because a lot of like personal things had happened to me, and I've been working on the website. I have been doing a lot of work on the channel, don't be wrong. Some of those things I couldn't make materialize by the end of the year, like the podcast or having doing collaborations. Collaborations will definitely happen probably first because collaborations is really probably what I would do to build up to the podcast. So that's something that I still want to do. I don't want people to think that I totally abandon it, but it's not something I can do right now. So just keep that in mind that it's still in my thoughts and something I do have planned for this next year. And throughout the next year, I plan on making even more videos based on, comments that I receive, ideas that we come up together in the live stream, because those are the lessons that, you want. These are the lessons that the community wants. That one on fingering with the seventh chords. I'll probably make that at some point. That might not be, right. Well, I have it pretty much bricked out for the rest of December, so you may see that in January. But things like that, just as an example, like suggestions you've made, Rich, or other people in the live stream, and then let's see, and then we talked about the rules of sharps and flats. So basically, we were just talking about what a sharp is, what a flat is. You may be saying, well, duh, I already knew that. But we were also talking about the rule of when you have a sharp earlier in the measure, it affects all the other notes within that measure. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. But you probably do as far along as you are. So we were just talking about like if you had C sharp, or no, say you had like D sharp in the measure right here. Let me write that in. And basically that this note also would be D sharp. That's one thing we went over, and how when you go into a new measure, that negates it. So just kind of, it's probably something you already knew, but I realized it was something I never mentioned on the channel before, so I wanted to mention it. Okay, let's see. Gail says, I wish I had your speed and accuracy. It comes with time, Gail. And even me, compared to some of the greatest pianists in the world, concert level or beyond, I'm nothing even compared to them. I'm like teacher level now. I used to be really like well practiced, and I still do practice, but I'm mostly practicing for preparing for the lessons and my other students and things like that. So in terms of practicing things I want to do to get better, I could do a better job at doing that right now. But like I said, I'm more geared towards teaching these days. I do want to get back and maybe play a recital at some point. I do want to do one for the YouTube channel at some point, but just not right now. Like I said, I like to do fewer things better and then add them on a little bit at a time, because I know myself, if I add on too many things at once, everything will just collapse. Okay, that rule about sharps and flats was tricky when I first started learning. It really is, because first of all, nobody really tells people about that rule. Like I said, I made that learn to play piano course 3 years ago when I started the channel. I can't believe it's been 3 years. And I totally forgot to mention that. At least I'm pretty sure I did. I may have mentioned it in one of the videos way back and I don't remember. But I seriously don't remember mentioning it, so I wanted to. Okay. Avi says, okay, bye, getting late for school. Oh, sorry to hear that, Avi, but that's all right. Glad you were able to make it out with us, and you're always welcome back to the live streams, as you know. You've attended quite a few of them by now. But have a great day at school tomorrow, and I'll talk to you next week on, if you attend next week on Friday. Okay, we have, making sure I didn't miss anybody, the first movement. Pathetique Sonata is my favorite from Beethoven. Yes, the first movement. I do love the first movement as well. I'm pretty good at the second movement. I won't play it today. I was playing a little fast there just to kind of let you know what it sounds like. And then Gail says, I'm not sure about when there is like a flat sign in the treble clef but not the bass staff, and you come across the same note. Is it flatted or not? So you're wondering if it is. That depends. That's a tricky question. Yeah, I believe so. Let me see. So say we have this measure, and then say you have F, you have D, you have F, and D. Here we go. So we have a D sharp up here, right? And now obviously this note is also going to be D sharp. What's strange is in the program here, it does not make that a sharp. Yeah, you see how they sound like two different notes, like if I play this D sharp and this D. So at least on staff pad, they're different. However, normally what a composer will do is if they intend the D in the left hand to still be sharped, if they don't write anything, that's a tricky question, because really, as a courtesy, a lot of times what a lot of composers will do is they'll write a sharp down here anyway, even though the rule applies. Um, that's a good question. But like I said, a lot of times the composer will tell you what their intention is. Like if they wanted this D down here to be naturaled instead, they would usually write a natural. So to me, it applies between both hands. But like I said, most of the time, the composer will let you know, whether the sharp carries over into that measure or not, or into the. They'll let you know if the sharp does not carry over into the left hand. I assume, like if I see this without the natural, to me as a piano player, I assume that that's probably going to be sharp as well. This occurred in songs from the Alfred book. Oh, if you can tell me which song it is, I can look it up and I can let you know for sure. Yeah, ask your instructors about that, Chris. Just like if you could get a definitive answer for me, I'd like to hear it. But like I said, in my experience, I assume that that's a sharp down there, and most of the time, the composer will actually let you know that say, hey, not only did you have the sharp in the right hand, you had it in the left hand too, or no, you should do it the other way. So a lot of times the composer will actually write it in, or the editor, because they are nice people. Okay. Rich says, "Oh geez, I thought that rule only applied for one clef. Now I'm lost." Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought if like I said, once Gail gives me the page, maybe not even the page number, but whatever song it is, I can tell you for sure. Let me look through some of these songs, because sometimes to be honest, I don't think about it until I come across it. Yeah, like see here in this song, I don't know how well you can see it. In this song, if you can see it, where is it? This measure right here, it has a, let me move it up there, maybe you can see it now. So anyway, you see how there's a C sharp up here? Well, the composer also told you, hey, there's a C sharp down there as well. Same thing here. There's a C sharp up there and C sharp down. So most of the time, I guess they will write, like I said, they will write it in as a courtesy to tell you what their intention is. But I always assumed that if they didn't tell you, that it would, that I would just assume it would be sharped. Okay, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I only know notes, that's it. I should watch your tutorials on that stuff. Yeah, so if you check out, there's actually, if you go to the channel, let's see here. Let me open this in Cognito. The reason I do that is if I don't do that, it will show you all my personal info, and I don't want to do that. So let's see here. Lessons on the Web is the name of the channel. Oh, and hey, there's that handsome young fellow. I'm just kidding, of course. And hey, we're live right now. So anyway, if you go to playlists, if you go to the main channel page, and you go to playlists, and you want to check out, it depends on where you are when you're learning music. I would start here. It says beginner start here down here. It also says your piano journey starts here. I would look through maybe these 5 sets of playlists first. Now these are older videos, so you'll notice that the production quality isn't quite as good, but they're still good for very basic stuff. And then from there you can move on. I mean, there's actually even more playlists on that. And as you can see, there's a lot of playlists. So if you want to learn about chords, there's one for that. There's one for a ton of stuff. There's one for two-handed playing, piano playing. I just made that one. classical music lessons, learn piano better with these tips and advice. No matter where you are in learning piano, I highly suggest you check out that playlist, Learn Piano Better with these tips and advice, because that will walk you through a lot of the advice I have to be successful learning piano long term, which is something you want. There's some on reading music, and then there's a songwriting toolbox. There's also a music theory one somewhere. I don't know where it is. It might be in the View 11 More playlist. Oh, there they go. So I have a rhythm one and all kinds of ones. So always check out the playlists on the channel because they will give you a good guide on, good groups of lessons that go together based on what you want to learn. But you definitely, if you're a beginner, you want to start out with that one that says beginner start here. Okay, thanks. I'm sure that'll help me get informed on this stuff. Okay, you're welcome. And by the way, welcome here, Great Emperor. I think I said that before, but I noticed that you are new to the group, so you're always welcome back anytime. Okay, let's see. Rich says, I thought that only applied to the measure that the sharp or flat is in. It does. You are right on that. Thought that rule only applied for the measure that the sharp is flat is in. That's what I was taught a while ago. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right on that. So what I'm saying is, like, yeah, so say I have a D sharp right here, right? Obviously that affects this one and any other if I had any other D sharp, and then as soon as you go into another measure, it's canceled. So you are right on that. So if I had a D here, this D would be regular D and not D sharp. So that would be regular D here, Rich. However, what I'm still like wondering about is that if this didn't have a sharp here, as you probably are following along, if that didn't have a sharp there, is that going to be D or D sharp? That's one thing I'm wondering. But like I said, most composers, like 99% of the time, will actually say, hey, that's sharp too. Or if they didn't want it sharp, they would actually say, hey, this one is natural. Those are called courtesy accidentals. And I find that a lot of composers use those because they're nice people. They want to tell you, exactly what they mean. Thank you. Thank you, Grame. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your name, but sorry about that. If your keyword is, oh, okay, is your keyword 88, 76, or 66 keys? So it's a full size 88 keyboard. If you ever want a decent keyboard that's not very expensive, I recommend some of the Yamaha series. They have some pretty good ones. If you search them on Amazon or something like that for $500. Now $500 is a lot of money to some people, but for keyboards, that's actually a pretty good deal. You can get a full size 88 key keyboard. I know Rich bought one a while ago, and I think he's pretty happy with it. Oh, Graham. Okay, yeah, I know how to say. I know how to say Graham. I'll call you Graham. Well, thank you very much, Graham. Graham says they're very informative and great viewing. So, as Gail's looking through for an example, let me look for one. If it's in the Alfred. But you know what? I've taught a lot of students out of this Alfred book, and I don't remember seeing that. See, like right here, I don't know if you can see this. Sorry if you can't see this, but let's see. Where is it? Oh, right here. So if you see right here, there's a measure here. There's a D, and then down here it looks like there's a D, but that's really an F. So they're two different notes. So then the rule doesn't really apply there at all. I mean, the rule of if there's any sharps later on does apply, but it wouldn't cross between because they're different notes. So obviously, if they're different notes, it doesn't apply. Chrissy, I'm fairly new to the channel and I love the lessons you teach on how you interact with the viewers. But there are other websites I can go to. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I'm fairly new to the channel, Chris says, but I love the lessons you teach and how you interact with the viewers. But are there other websites I can go to, or do you teach strictly on this channel? So I have a website called pianolessonsontheweb.com. It's actually in the description of this video, I think, where you can learn a lot more about piano music. But some other websites I recommend outside that, and by the way, over on my website, it's like a lot of courses that I've made that not only have videos, but also have a ton of other things. So here's my website, and if you go to my website, the main page, there we go. I didn't click on it right. But anyway, so if you go to my main website, you can read about it and see all the courses that I have. I have a lot of courses on piano, music theory, things like that. But another great website that I recommend is musictheory.net. Now, it has lessons on it too, actually, but they're like text-based lessons. So like here you can read about the staff and ledger lines, and here they kind of give you a little breakdown of the lesson. But so basically, if you go to musictheory.net, they have a lot of free lessons over there. But I don't know if they really give you any more than what my YouTube lessons do. My YouTube lessons cover a lot of these topics, and they're in they're in video form. But if you want to learn a lot more about piano music, just check out my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com. And then there are some other. I'm actually going to make a lesson soon about free resources for piano students, where you can kind of get a little bit of extra practice. Now, keep in mind they're free, so they won't be quite as, what keeps going on with the screen over there? It keeps going in the stream. I don't know if that's happening for anybody else. But anyway, but keep in mind they're free resources, so they're a little bit limited. But I think that would make for a great lesson, just to kind of tell you what's out there. So I'm going to compile a list, and then I'm going to make a lesson on it, just to kind of let everybody know, you and everybody know, what's out there. Okay, so here we go. Poor spelling on my part. That's all right. There's an electric piano by Yamaha. That's very nice. I went for Christmas. Very cool. Very cool. And then let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Is that one in this one? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Let's see. Gail says third measure in the bass clef. Yeah, that self-teaching adult book, Gail, I don't have that directly on me. I may have it somewhere, but I don't have that where I can get it. But this is the one I have. And you said it was measure, third measure. Third measure to flat or not flat, it'd be in the bass clef when it occurs on the top line. Well, in the third measure, there's not a B on the top line. You may have a different version than me, but here I have the key signature with one flat in it. So the B flat, the flat does happen over that flat there, but it doesn't happen up top. So the key signature is a little different, because the key signature will definitely cover both clefs if it doesn't tell you, because it's written in both the treble and bass. So that's a little different. If it was a natural, it would be a different story, but it looks to me that it would cover both. So if it's in the key signature, it definitely covers both, unless it tells you otherwise. Okay, Evan says, what is the name of the song that you're referring to in of the songbook you were referring to? Okay, so that's called, maybe it's this one, Piano Course Level 1, Alfred's Adult Piano Course. And then, what are minors? Oh, okay, you were saying that to Gail. Where are minors? So, to answer this, the Great Emperor says, what are minors? So, to answer this, you have major chords which sound happy. Minor chords sound sad. So, if you're playing in a minor key, it sounds sad. If you're playing in a major key, it sounds happy. So that's what they mean by major or minor. Cool. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to. Well, let me take a look here. Hold on. What's staccato? I can answer that for you real quick. So staccato is a very short note. So instead of playing them like this, smoothly and connected, they're a little bit detached. Just like that. So real short, almost like you're hitting a hot frying pan. And then the opposite of that, where you connect them together, that's called legato. Just like that. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to wrap it up tonight. We're at about an hour anyway. It was a great lesson, so it started out a little slow. As people came in, it got a lot more active. Like I said, I always love to engage with you, the students. So before we leave, in the next couple of minutes, I just want to tell you that, thank you for being a part of the class tonight. Like I said, I always enjoy seeing new and returning faces. Well, not faces, I guess I only see your names, but new and returning personalities. It's interesting that I only see people type, but I get like a feeling of your personality a little bit. Well, I have actually talked to Rich over Skype, which we will do someday again, I promise, Rich, and then we'll try to get another student on board. And like I said, that's one thing I really plan for the next year, upcoming years, to get more of the community involved in the channel, because I really feel like that's how you build a great channel. It's not really about me. It's a little bit about me since I'm building the channel, but it's way more about the students out there who are getting things from the lesson. So I want to make this year more about the students and, maybe not less about me, but incorporate more of what you want and more of your opinions into the thing. So I just wanted to say, thank you so much for being a part of this, because it means a lot to me. It really does. It really energizes me, like when you guys are in the comments and asking questions away. And it's really awesome. Like, it's just so great to be able to help, people all around the world learn piano music. And as I said in the last live stream, I'm very privileged to be able to do this with you. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great week. I'll take any last minute questions if there are any. And then let's see. Rich says, okay, great, Tim. Great Ember says, okay, thank you. Nice to come to these streams. You're welcome back anytime. Gail says, Chris says, if majors are happy and minors are sad, how come someone explain what a diminished and augmented chord sound like? Diminished sounds scary. Augmented sounds mysterious, but they're very hard to hear the differences of. We had a live stream about hearing the differences between chords. You can look up in the recent videos to see, where that is if you want to learn more about that. And then Chris says, I agree, these streams are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Web Lessons Guy. You're very, very welcome. Let's see. Graham says, thanks, Tim. These lessons are awesome. Okay. Graham says, what's arpeggio? Last one, and it'll be gone. No worries at all. An arpeggio, all an arpeggio is an arpeggio is a 3-note chord. Instead of playing it like as a block chord like this, you play the notes separately. Just like that. And that's really all there is to it. So instead of playing as block chords, you play them separately, and you can make up really nice songs, just with arpeggios. Oh, thanks, Gail. Gail says, they really are awesome, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for coming out. And then Great Emperor says, "Okay, cool, thank you, bye." All right, you're very welcome, Great Emperor. Like I said, you're always welcome to come back. Thank you so much for coming by today. It was really nice getting to know you on, at least a small level. Just conversing with you a little bit over this last hour. So you're always welcome back, and thanks a lot. And let's see. Okay, I think I got to everybody. If I missed a question by you, I'm really sorry. But um, yeah, thank you. Very informative. Thank you, Evan. And Evan, you're always welcome back as well. So I believe you are new around here. At least this is your first time commenting. So thank you for coming out, and I'll check you in one of the future live streams, or at least around on the channel. Obviously, more lessons on the way, of course. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you. By the way, I'd like to do a little announcement before we go. On Friday, we are meeting again, and to be honest with you, I don't remember what we're talking about, so let me look this up. One thing I want everybody to be aware of is that if you go to my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, and you go to community, there's like a free portion of the website that is for all of us. And, why is it useful for us? Well, if you attend the live streams, you can check out the calendar to see, when we plan on meeting, when we plan on having off. Now, every once in a while, I'll have to cancel because something will come up. But for the most part, I've been pretty good recently, especially sticking to the schedule. And next time, we have great Christmas songs that don't take long to learn. So it'll be really great to do for this December. That's on December 9th. And that's around the same time that this started, but on Friday. So on Friday, we'll meet again and, just check out the topics at this page on my website. So just want to let you be aware of that. Thanks, everybody, for coming by, and have a great week as always.